All right, hello everyone, and welcome to a very, very special edition of the SystemMagic Twitch stream. And oh baby, do we have a nice one for you today. So if you haven't been following the drama of the weekend, this weekend was NRG Champs, a tournament that we've been hyping up for quite a while. Me and Andrew and our friend Matt qualified for the tournament by winning the NRG series event Team Limited this June. So we all played NRG Champs. We've been prepping for it for a while. And the finals of NRG Champs came down to Andrew versus Matt. Winner takes all. And Andrew very generously decided to concede the finals to Matt so that Matt could play in the Pro Tour. Andrew already had an invite. To be clear, this was Andrew's intention the entire weekend. He was really hoping to play against me or Matt in the finals so he could concede and we could join him at the Pro Tour, and he got his wish. So he couldn't be happier. But they offered to play the finals on stream just for fun for the viewers and for the bragging rights. But NRG said, okay, if you conceded, the tournament's over. We can't show the finals. So they just ended the tournament, and so we here at SystemMagic are having the unofficial, official finals of the NRG Champs tournament. We're going to be playing out the finals just like it would have been played, except of course we'll be playing online, and we're going to be running through all three formats of NRG Champs: Modern, Standard, and Limited. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Greg. Your other host, Andrew, will be participating, so you won't be able to hear from him. But I'm not here alone. I'm joined by friend of the stream and fellow commentator for this event. Everyone, let's welcome back to SystemMagic, Dom Harvey!
Hello. Yes, I'm just off screen, laughing too. And I think, Andrew, you might be confused. You're actually Andrew Ellenbogen, not Greg. Many Andrews Ellenbogen took part in NRG Champs, and one of them even won the tournament.
Yeah. The finals was between Andrew Ellenbogen and Andrew Ellenbogen, with Andrew Ellenbogen finishing in a hot 15th place. For those who don't know, some of the Champs jackets were back ordered, and so Matt and I didn't get our Champs jackets, but we knew this was going to happen in advance. And this is Andrew's third NRG Champs, so he had 3 jackets, and so we just all wore Andrew Ellenbogen's on day one of the tournament, which was quite a nice little treat.
Yes, Andrew was able to defeat all opposition, but he was unable to defeat his toughest opponent, i.e. himself.
Yes.
So it really makes you think. If any of you out there have been watching Pluribus, it's like the whole world has turned into Andrew Ellenbogen, and I am one of the few Gregs who has remained unscathed, and so I will be filling the role of Greg for this occasion.
Yep, and thanks for the resub, Zach Kagan. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our competitors. So first of all, he needs no introduction. Co-host of the SystemMagic Twitch stream, we've got Andrew Ellenbogen. This is his third NRG Champs. And his third top 8, in fact, his third top 4, but his first time in the finals. He drafted a banger deck in the top 8 that he didn't get to play, but you will get a chance to see it. And he's the self-proclaimed master of the Is It Lessons mirror. He went undefeated in the tournament, playing the Is It Lessons mirror. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't make this full screen. Let's do it like this. This is better. Nice.
No, I like this.
Yes. And so he played the Is It Lessons both matches in the top 8. This is his official player graphic we've got here. And then the other corner, the tournament leader throughout the event. We had Matt here. Matt was one of the first competitors to make day 2 of the tournament. At the end of day 1, he was had the highest record at 7-1, was the only person with 1 loss, had the fewest losses of anyone in the main event. So across all 3 formats, had a very impressive showing, was the number 1 seed going into the top 8, and ended up winning. To be clear, Matt was the winner of NRG Champs. This is an unofficial finals. He gets the champ invite for next year. He gets the Pro Tour invite. But we're playing for the physical trophy tonight, because both players think that they are deserving of the physical trophy. So our competitors have agreed, Matt has agreed, that if Andrew takes him down today, he will give the physical trophy over to Andrew.
Yes, MSJ may in fact win his first ever on-stream trophy.
It's true.
Alternatively, Andrew did say coming into the tournament that he thought MSJ would win it all, and in a manner of speaking, he was right, or maybe not. We
It's
will
true.
see.
Also,
Whether or not the gift of prophecy.
Great questions about today's candle sponsor. Today we have this lovely Alpine Escape candle in a mug. I lit it because Andrew doesn't like it that much, but I kind of like it, and Andrew's upstairs. So okay, for those of you who don't know how NRG Champs finals work, we play best of 3 matches. Matt, as the higher seed, gets to pick the first format, and Matt gets to be on the play in this format. So he gets to pick the format where being on the play is most important, in his opinion, and he has picked Modern. So our first match that we're going to be watching is going to be Modern. And to be clear, Matt and Andrew played the exact same 75s in the tournament, so both our constructed rounds are going to be perfect 75-card mirrors. Dom, what do you think about this choice from Matt to prioritize the play in Modern?
I think it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Andrew was very excited to play some Lessons Mirrors and very keen to play his draft deck. Unclear if there was any enthusiasm at all to play more Stinky Modern, as some Gregs would put it.
Yeah.
Not me, of course. I love Modern, famously. But I think it makes a lot of sense, especially in game 1, you see this list prioritizes the kind of core synergy components of the deck. There's really nothing in the way of interaction, right? So no Metallic Rebukes, and even those are... That's not the interaction you want from a mirror like this. This is a race to the finish line, and just being on the play with a good draw is going to be absolutely essential. Post-board, things maybe get a little stranger, but by and large, they will be trying to goldfish each other, and being on the play is a great way to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, fun fact, Andrew went 1-3 in Modern in this tournament. So Andrew does not have a very good record, where Matt, I think, was 2-1 before getting to leave the tournament in Modern. So Andrew could not win a game in Modern for the longest time. So advantage definitely Matt's way going into this first match.
Yeah, the nature of the tournament structure meant MSJ, we all took it for granted he would 3-0 his draft, and sure enough he did. But then the question was, how much could he win in constructed? And it turns out the answer was still an awful lot. But once he got to the top 8, now we're drafting again, and you have players picking formats, vetoing formats. So you and your finals opponent could end up with a very different path through the top 8 there. And MSJ got to the finals without having to play a game of constructed. So this is his first game of either standard or modern in the tournament so far, or out of it, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Matt, despite being a limited expert as the 1 seed, had good enough deck constructions that people were afraid, and he got to play limited. His draft deck was maybe not the best, but pretty good, and he managed to beat his opponents. And thanks everyone for the gift subs. Very excited to have some subs for this special event. And okay, I believe I can pull this up. Oop, that's not right. Let me see where this stream is. That's the wrong stream. Aha, okay, here's what I want. All right, so here we go. We will be watching from Andrew's side for this first match. I'm hidden. Let me make sure you can see me. Like there. Nope. Hold on. There I am. Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yes, Andrew, for the record, the actual Andrew wants the record to reflect that he won both die rolls in both the practice challenge we did during stream setup and also this challenge, and still was forced to take the draw. So already suffering immense psychic damage, and we'll see if that has any bearing on the outcome here.
Yep, if you press deck, it will link to our Mox field, which has our 4 relevant decks as the 4 most recent decks. If you want to take a look at those decks, also on YouTube, we'll be sure to put those links in the comments, in the description below. Here...
notably, being able to use track commands to summon the records in the tournament or the deck list already elevates us above the coverage of the NRG Champs itself, which did not offer this privilege to its loyal chatters. So,
yeah,
count yourselves lucky, all of you.
I do want to give a quick shout out before we get started for the NRG Champs. It might sound like we're, I don't know, annoyed at them for not running the finals, but that's not the case. They ran an amazing tournament, and we're really lucky that we get to do this on our own little stream. But NRG Champs is super duper fun, and you should definitely check out the NRG series if you're looking to play some tournament Magic next year, especially if you're local to the Midwest. All right, we are underway. A mulligan to 5 from Matt, so advantage gone and a slow start with tapped Steam Vents.
Yeah, I played NRG Champs last year. It was a really fun event, and I thought a really well-designed event. And it's been fun to cover the events, but I got a chance to do that as well. So we'll take our friendly jabs here and there, but definitely would recommend you checking their events out if you are anywhere around the Midwest. But yeah, as you say, a slow start for MSJ, and so Andrew potentially poised to break serve here. And he has one of these classic Affinity draws with a lot of literal junk, but also the payoffs that justify you putting all these junk cards in your deck. So turn 1 Pickle Emissary with 3 zeros, flooding the board quickly, and then in turn letting him play Salvage Titan. So this is one of the actual recent additions to this Affinity deck. Obviously, Pinnacle Emissary and Weapons Manufacturing, the 2 payoffs that really make this deck possible, coming out of Edge of Eternities. Salvage Titan, a banger from going on 20 years ago at this point, but one that's been given new life, dragged out of the scrap heap by these new effects.
Absolutely. And we saw Andrew slow roll. I think with a faster start from Matt, he might have been tempted to play the Pinnacle Emissary, but with Matt on 5, taking things slow, Andrew seems content to take things slow. And this is a really tough decision Andrew has here.
Yeah, I think seeing the slower start from MSJ, Andrew feels more freedom himself to get maximum value out of his zeros here, where, I mean, it's unclear if he wants to start unloading this turn or wait until next turn where he can kind of double dip and, get value from the Emissary and the Weapons Manufacturing from every one of those 4 and counting zeros in his hand, and then the Salvage Titan when he casts that as well. And Salvage Titan is here. I mean, you have a bunch of stuff you can stack, but it's the combo with Weapons Manufacturing that makes it so powerful, where if you can stack those munition tokens to cast Salvage Titan, then you get the damage from each of those, can spread that around, and increase your clock there. So tough to decide if you can afford to wait yet another turn. I think you probably can at this point. But this is a way for...
Here we go. Green light from Andrew. 0-0-0 come down. Salvage Titan. You take 6. Hitting the board. Boom.
Yeah, the nice thing about this too is because Andrew has the Engineered Explosives in his hand, this is the classic like A plus B combo in the deck with Weapons Manufacturing. You play out all your zeros, including explosives, which will give you munitions and then give you a way to sack all of those munitions in one fell swoop. And he can even delay that to get maximum value from the Emissary next turn as well. So I think having that in place, Andrew feels more freedom to kind of get on board right now and start unloading, knowing that he has this kind of a follow-up lethal blow coming down the pipeline.
Absolutely. And is this like lethal from Andrew next turn, even through blockers? How many munitions can he make?
Well, so it's going to be 1 off Emissary, 1 off Explosives, 1 off Opal. So that's at least 3. And then basically any artifact off the top will be at least 1 more. We're going to want to have the 2 mana left over to pop Explosives.
Yeah.
But we are going to have that. And potentially so this Salvage Titan is in an interesting spot here, where if it gets to attack now, and MSJ has to feel real scared of taking 6 damage here, already at 14, facing off against Weapons Manufacturing across the board. So I think we'll be inclined to take it, not wanting to give Andrew the chance to bring it back and then cast it by stacking munitions again. But that will mean that Andrew just unloading his hand now, he's going to have 4 munitions, and he's going to have a sacrifice outlet for all of them. And yeah, this is a nice little showcase of what this Affinity deck can do here.
Absolutely. Oh, and a cast of the Pinnacle Emissary on the battlefield. Thopters are flying, Engineered Explosives flying. Everything's working out for Andrew here in this first game of our top 8, of our finals, of our unofficial finals of the NRG
Yeah,
Champs.
I think... Did he not have lethal there if he just warped the Emissary instead?
It looked... was that 4 munitions or 3?
I think it was 4. So possibly some, some nerves under the lights here from Andrew. He's not used to this level of competition, but hopefully he can get his head in the game for the rest of the stream.
Yep, he's used to only playing in top 4. Finals is not his thing. Okay, so now we get to watch Andrew's sideboarding, and what you should know is there aren't many cards in the sideboard that matter.
Yeah, so as a little peek behind the curtain into the team preparation here, obviously when you have 4 or 5 people working together, all registering the same deck for the event, and you have 5 members out of a 24-player field, the discussion of, well, we don't want to be Kepler-ing each other, and it's pretty bad form to actually do that unilaterally. However, if you expect other people to be registering the same deck, then you kind of do want to have some sideboard cards for them. So you do need to arrive at a team consensus on this. And I think roughly where everyone landed was, okay, maybe 1 or 2 other people will play this deck, but we are going to be the majority of the Affinity pilots in the field. So we don't want to be, cannibalizing our sideboards just to target each other. So let's not do any of that. And as a result, if 2 of the team members are squaring off, then yeah, there's really not much they can sideboard in here.
Can I change the stream quality from Discord? Oh, let's see. I have no idea how to do that. Video settings?
Yeah, that's more of an Andrew task.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, talk about what's going on in, a crisp standard. Oh wait, no, that's all noise. All right. I think the answer is no.
I like how noisy it is. In any case, while we're yapping and figuring out the tech stuff, MSJ, after a rolling start here, Warping Emissary on turn 1, Mishra's Bauble, and then Mox Opal 2, giving him another mana to Thoughtcast for 1, and now Memnite drawn off there too. So a board full of rectangles, not much to use them with yet, but presumably among all of those cards he's drawn, we'll see Cap Cannoneer, Salvage Titan perhaps, Weapons Manufacturing in the near future.
Yeah, Kappa Cannoneer, obviously the dream follow-up for Matt, given that start. So Andrew had to bottom his last 0, so he can't Thoughtcast this turn because of his mulligan to 6. A little bit of a little awkward, a more awkward start from Andrew this game.
It kind of shows off how awkward it can be to mulligan with his Affinity deck sometimes, where I think it was the right call to bottom a 0. It makes total sense, but he is exactly 1-0 away from turn 1 Thoughtcast plus Salvage Titan, and instead he just ends up having to pass the turn.
Yep, and so let's see what Matt can do. And here we see the artifacts tapping. We know what that means. The turtle is here. Turn 2 Kappa from Matt. No more follow-up.
Weapons. Yeah, weapons off the top from Andrew. So a nice reward for all those 0s, and a good thing to pair with the Salvage Titan to maybe try and break serve again here, because as we mentioned, without these dedicated sideboard cards for the mirror, there's nothing like a Hurkyl's Recall or anything like that. If you have to race this Kappa Cannoneer straight up, because you're not getting it off the board, so you have to go around it, go over the top of it. You have to do something, and that top deck from Andrew well on the way to letting him do that.
All right, and he seems to be going after the creatures with these munition token pings.
That makes sense, I think, because over the course of the next few combat steps, those are going to add up to multiple damage per drone, if you like. So you're kind of trading like for like in that sense. And if Andrew can just build a more impressive board, then and buy enough time, when that saga pops off, but getting Claws of Kicks to pair with the weapons manufacturing again, that can swing the race in his favor. But MSJ has his own weapons, and Bauble is the first of perhaps many artifacts joining play this turn.
This Kappa is going to get real big.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
So that's one nice thing about this mix of payoffs. There's a lot of them that you kind of double dip with each other. So with Kappa Cannoneer in play, you play an artifact, that triggers it, and then if you get a token from Emissary or a munitions from the weapons manufacturing, that will also pump the Kappa. So you can go from 0 to 20, I guess, with the Kappa very quickly.
Wow, and a Salvage Titan. Memnite's going down to the munitions. Kappa Cannoneer at least an 11-11. Whew. Who said being on the play is what this matchup's about? Also, huge thanks
I think
to...
it was Greg.
Andrew, you mean. I'm Andrew.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And huge shout out to SystemMagic. Thanks for the raid. If you're just joining us, we were watching a special SystemMagic event. We were watching the unofficial finals of the NRG Champs tournament. Since Andrew conceded to Matt in the finals so that he could play in the Pro Tour, the finals was not played, and this is it. This is the unofficial finals. We're playing it out for the trophy. Matt gets the PT invite to join Andrew at the Pro Tour. Matt gets the invite to Champs next year, but we are battling for the trophy. Oh, yeah, wait, I guess MSJ was on the play because he lost. Good point, Brian.
Great point, as always, from friend of the stream, B-Wells there. Would you say B-Wells is spiritually more of an Andrew or a Greg, if you had to choose?
That's an interesting question. I think he might be spiritually more of an Andrew.
Wow, that was not the answer I expected.
Yeah, spiritual, though. Would you say you're more of spiritually an Andrew or a Greg?
I'm Switzerland here. I'm an MSJ.
Okay. Yeah. You love to be an MSJ. Also, God, we haven't told the story yet, though it was alluded to in chat. So, Andrew has famously spent years hyping up MSJ in this chat, talking about how good at Magic he is, and it worked. It got Grayson to switch MSJ out of his pod. Notably, Grayson, as the leader of the NRG series for the year, got to make one swap before the draft happened. He was in a pod with all three SystemMagic boys, me, Andrew, and Matt, and he chose to kick Matt out of the pod as the drafter he was most afraid of.
And yeah, sure enough, impressive start there from MSJ, enough to clinch game 2 and send this to a game 3. And so Andrew on the play, you see some quick sideboarding. The sideboard Vexing Bauble making its way back in for game 3, a card which, in this matchup in particular, fantastic on the play and extremely awkward on the draw at the best of times.
Yeah,
so
it's even a little awkward on the play, to be clear. I'm gonna switch over to Matt's. Yeah. I'm gonna switch over to Matt's view for this last match, I think.
Yeah, we want to see the true Affinity Master at work here, just to watch his secrets. Worth noting as well, there are cards in this deck right now that literally have zero relevant game tech. So those Tormod scripts, we joke about, would you play Darksteel Relic? This is worse than Darksteel Relic. It's destructible, not indestructible. I guess in theory, if you trade off a Salvage Titan, you can exile it. Basically, this card has no text.
Yeah.
It's not a fact that costs 0. And this deck needs so many of those to function effectively and to make these payoffs worth the squeeze that you will end up in this spot a lot with these dead Tormod scripts or sometimes dead explosives, some very awkward Mem Knights, in your deck just to give you that critical mass.
All right, it's oops all payoffs in this hand from MSJ. I imagine he'll be sending this one back. Andrew's got a real thinker over there. It looks like we switched away at the wrong time. I guess I can go back.
The hand from MSJ, it kind of has A plus B, right? You have weapons, you have engineered explosives. Those go great together, but you need, again, those other zeros to pair with them, and he just doesn't have any of those, which in turn means the Thoughtcast are going to be delayed and clunky. This Kappa Cannoneer not coming down for a while. So you have this, you have a great start to a hand here, but I think probably you have to send this back if you're being disciplined. Maybe on the draw, that could cut both ways, right? So on the draw, you need a faster hand, if anything, to keep up. You also have more draw steps to hit the hand you need. But yeah, I think MSJ realizes, I can do better on 6. And yeah, sure enough, I think he has, in fact, done better on 6 here.
Absolutely. This hand is at least a turn 1 Thoughtcast with outs, probably unlikely outs to a turn. I guess a Pinnacle Emissary would let him have the turn 1 Kappa Cannoneer. Andrew going down to 5 after MSJ's mull to 6. Yeah, I've been Andrew the whole time, you know? I'm Pro Tour champion me. Alright, Andrew kept his 5. So we got a bit of a slow start here. Oh wait, Twitch chat isn't visible. Whoa, that wasn't my intention. Let's make Twitch chat visible. The poor YouTube commenters will not... Everyone catch up YouTube on anything that's insightful that's been said. In the chat.
Yeah, if you're in the YouTube comments and you're an Andrew, please let us know. We need to know how many are out there.
Yeah. Also, people can hear Dom, right? I forgot to check, but what if they've just only been hearing me this whole time? It'd be really funny.
Yeah, you muting me and pretending that you hadn't would be a fantastic bit, honestly.
It really
I don't
would
want to put
be.
that out into the universe.
Nice. You can only hear Dom. Nice. All right. Also, great question about today's candle sponsor. We have this lovely Alpine Escape candle. Someone at NRG Champs asked me, quote, Greg, do you own any Christmas candles? And the answer to that is yes, including this Alpine Escape.
Is this in the sense that any candle can be a Christmas candle if you're excited enough about it at Christmas?
Yeah, I think so. It's so weird that now we're watching. I'm so used to watching Andrew's side. Now we're on Matt. Here he is, Blastoise down on the field. Matt's second consecutive turn to Kappa Cannoneer.
Yeah, and the second Urza Saga and the second Spider Canal, both kind of awkward draws here, but not going to be dissuaded from turn 2 Kappa Cannoneer. And unless Andrew can fire back with something equally as good, I think we're going to see MSJ take a 1-0 lead here. Yeah,
which would be nice, because Andrew is so confident about the other two formats, it's disgusting. If Andrew wins the Affinity Mirror, he's going to be up there cackling maniacally. You'll be able to hear it from here. Oh yeah, we had to talk about moving Spire Bluff canals from deck to deck, which was so annoying. What were your standard deck considerations? We pretty much only considered Lessons. I'm not saying Lessons is broken and, the only deck in standard or anything, but at this point, it was so clear from Worlds that Lessons is the best deck right now. We didn't have time to figure out how to beat it, and there's something about beating him and joining him.
Yeah, it was quite funny seeing the contrast between NRG Champs, where 18 out of 24 players, a full 75% of the field, registered Lessons in standard, and the standard showcase happening on Magic Online the same weekend, competing for that Marks seat, where out of the 32 competitors, one of them registered Lessons, and is it Tiger Seal somehow was the most popular deck? So very different universes going on there.
That's insane. Yeah, look, the Lessons deck has a few matchups like Reanimator was brought up, Mono Red, that are not the best, but it's really busted deck. Even in those quote unquote bad matchups, it's quite good. It's really broken in my experience. Yeah, I'm sure some counterplay.
Richard Dan Airship asked in chat, why didn't Andrew play Titan? He did. There's Savage Titan. It's right there. Have you not been paying attention?
Yep. To actually answer that question, it was a metagame choice from Andrew. So in a small field tournament like this, you get to see what everyone's playing. Or you don't get to know what everyone's playing, but you have a good sense. Andrew's really well connected. He's able to check people's recent tournament results. And it really did not look like a good metagame for Titan, in Andrew's opinion. Well, letting Andrew block if he wants it.
Also, if Andrew played Titan, then Greg would have to play Titan, and Andrew just would never do that to his best friend.
No, I just would have played Affinity. It would have been fine. But yeah,
I think
in a matchup,
the real factor there was also you expected a lot of Gorios, right? Like looking at the decks that people had played, it seemed like Gorios was going to be the most popular deck, and that traditionally is, I think, a close but slightly unfavored matchup for Titan. And that's if they're not targeting you. If they decide to show up with a bunch of Ashiok and so on, then it becomes nightmarish pretty quickly. And yeah, in a small field tournament, a lot of that metagaming goes on. And if they expect Jack Potter, House of Mana, who was in the event, to play Titan, which he did, and if you also think, well, Andrew's going to play it, maybe Nate and or Wes would play it, maybe someone else, others have played Titan in the past. It kind of makes sense to bring out Ashiok, and so it makes sense to not bring Titan if you can avoid it.
Yep, and to be clear, we were right. I mean, the Goryo's was the most represented deck, other than Affinity, which was tied because all 5 of our team registered it. But there were 6 Goryo's players and a Jeskai Blink, so a lot of that kind of action going on in the tournament.
Yes. Meanwhile, the action going on screen here, we're about to see the game get very weird, I believe. Because,
tell us about it, Tom.
So currently, we have identical creatures on both sides: a Memnite, a Kappa Cannoneer, and a Construct Token. One Kappa Cannoneer suited up with Shadow Spear, which usually is pretty instrumental in the mirror and just against other aggro decks in winning those races. However, because it's a mirror, I think we're about to see that duplicated too. MSJ has the option here of fetching his own Shadow Spear with their Saga, or maybe some different option if he has another plan in mind. But either way, that is going to be the defining threat on either side until it is dealt with somehow.
Absolutely, and it does. You would think that MSJ has the construct advantage because he has another Saga coming down, but that's an engineered explosives on the other side of the battlefield from Andrew. He can clear all that out. All right, Shadow Sphere, lifelink versus lifelink achieved.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if maybe the plan from MSJ was, because he has explosives in hand, to use that to clear off Andrew's Shadow Spear, survive the turn, maybe gaining life with the Claws of Gix if he needs to, and then next turn he can fetch his own Shadow Spear and be the one person who now controls Shadow Spear still. Opt to get his own instead, get a nice big life buffer right away. So I think maybe a declaration that with the explosives that he can kind of use as and when he sees fit, and also another construct coming down off the Saga, and whatever that Saga fetches on the way out, he can find a way to overpower the Kappa Shadow Spear mirror here, if you like.
Absolutely. Oh, who else was on the team? Great question. Huge shout out to Nathaniel Perigo and Wesley Hickman, who rounded out our team. Nate Perigo making the top 8. Wesley Hickman finishing around where I did. I think I was one spot ahead of him. I think he finished 16th to my 15th. So, all right. It looks like this chump, this chump block really indicating that Andrew's plan is to crack that engineered explosives to deal with all these constructs from Matt.
Yeah, explosives is a really dynamic card in these mirrors where you can do the 1-2 punch with weapons manufacturing, but also given that it is a mirror and given that your mana curve is so compressed around the 0s and the 1s, which obviously means theirs is as well, you have this sweeper which is going to do a lot of damage to both players' boards, but hopefully you can time the explosives in such a way that it obviously works out to your advantage. But your opponent has that too, and you can kind of conceal the explosives until the perfect moment. So you can have these wide boards that suddenly end up with 10 rectangles just vanishing at a moment's notice.
All right, an EE for 1 on the board from MSJ.
Yeah.
Love that.
This plan makes a lot of sense too. So you can get your own Shadow Spear, and then those can be dueling back and forth for a bit, but you basically get the last Shadow Spear attack, if you like, because you get a big hit in, buffer your own life total, take a big chunk out of Andrew's, and then you can deal with both Shadow Spears and also Andrew's Springleaf Drum to boot on the way out. And now, if you reduce this back to a pure race, well, Andrew's starting that race down 8 life points and facing down a much more impressive board.
And so far Andrew hasn't found a artifact. This Memnite might be able to block this Kappa Cannoneer, and sure, it has trample, but not for long. This is a rare there's a Mishra's Bauble. All right.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. I should have known better than to think that Kappa Cannoneer might be blockable.
Yeah, you suggested that Memnite might actually do anything, and we just couldn't have that be true.
All right, one's down.
Yeah, so Andrew will have to string together something quite impressive post-combat, I think, to remain in this game for now. That said, though, I mean, that attack was for 8, and it's tough to make out with this, zoomed out Windows 98 Modo interface just how big each of the cappers is, but looks like they're both 8/8s for now. So both of these decks quite capable of adding on a ton of counters there just at the drop of a hat between your Pinnacle Emissary, Salvage Titan, weapons manufacturing as well. So yeah, we could go from 8 to 12, and someone could just steal the game out from underneath the other.
All right, and a heads-up play from Matt, from Andrew here, cracking the Engineer Explosive. I don't think Matt brought the Pithing Needle into his deck, but if he had, it would have been game over if he had chosen to go search it. But now we're going to do some things. Exile some cards from the graveyard. Gain a life point or two. Why not?
Yeah, the Needle is funny when you're playing the 75-card mirror, but usually, both players will have boards that differ by enough, and maybe one person has a Shadow Spear, one player doesn't, one player has an EE, the other person doesn't, that you can use the Needle to kind of nullify whatever that difference is. So it may be still worth in the end, but MSJ fetching the Lava Spur Boots with the Saga, and now can just warp the Emissary.
This is lethal!
And counter him for lethal. So MSJ up to a 1-0 lead, just as we scripted it in advance. And now Andrew will get to go back to his comfort zone to try and equalize this.
Yep, so the next choice is to Andrew. So Andrew gets to select what we play next, and he has made his choice official. He is going to be playing Standard Lessons. Now, as I said before, Andrew could not shut up about the Standard Lessons mirror. He played it all weekend. In our matches, we did a lot of testing. Andrew just couldn't stop winning in the Lessons mirror. He played it 4 times in the tournament. He won them all. He played it throughout the top 8. I'm going to pull up our Lessons deck here for you to take a look at while we are getting things underway over from everyone there. Why did that not go away? Okay, well, let's just do it the hard way. Okay, let's pull up the Lessons deck like this. There it is. All right, so here is Standard Lessons. As you can see, we've got all the commons and uncommons from the new set. We've got 3 Monument to Endurance, 1 Ral in the main deck, a lot of kill spells that aren't worth it, that aren't very important in the mirror, and of course, Artist Talent, one of the key cards in the deck. Any thoughts about this Lessons deck, Dom?
Yeah, I like how few res it has, meaning that MSJ will be able to craft this deck and continue rather than just forfeiting instantly.
Yeah, that is that's nice. Though poor MSJ drafted a Badger Mole Cub and had to buy a Badger Mole Cub on Modo to play this event.
Well, that really is unfortunate.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean,
and he's gonna win.
It would be even sadder. Right,
yeah.
If you don't even get to the draft portion, then he just lit 20 tickets on fire, and his dignity.
And to be clear, we are gonna play the draft round no matter what. Even if Matt takes out Matt, if Matt takes out Andrew here, we're still gonna play the draft round. Poor Andrew has not gotten to play his draft deck that he claims is the best draft deck he's drafted in the entire format. So we'll be giving him a chance either way.
If Andrew takes out Andrew, then we will still go to a third match here where who knows which Andrew will emerge victorious.
We can take a quick look. We've got a request in chat to look at their draft decks. Let's pull them up real quick while we're waiting for our competitors to get started. Here is that, quote, best draft deck I've ever drafted in the format from Andrew. Let's sort by mana value, shall we? There we go. So he started his draft off with Legend of Yang Chen, and in a paper draft where he got to flip that face up, I think the people around him were a little scared to draft white, and he ended up with quite a lot of bangers, with a really cool go wide deck, 2 Freedom Fighters, 2 Invasion Reinforcements, Kyoshi Warriors, Cave of Two Lovers, a lot of ways to make 2 bodies, with some payoffs with 2 How to Start a Riots and Team Avatar.
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic with these DFCs being in various sets. Some more than others, obviously. But if you are able to pack one, pick one, a rare or mythic DFC, in a structure with where you see what the DFCs are, then there's public information that really informs how everyone kind of in your blast radius has to draft there. So yeah, Grayson saying the pack one, pick one, Legend of Yang Chen directly upstream of him. Really, you have to be a brave soul to go into white, knowing that that's the case.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times it can still be right, but people are really afraid to do it. Let's pull up Matt's deck here. Definitely not quite as powerful, but still a banger draft deck. He played this all throughout the top 8, so he won 2 matches, including taking down Slacks, who some believed was the best player in the room and a limited expert in limited. With this nice deck featuring a couple mythics, Badgermole Cub, and Boomy Unleashed as the highlights, and with just some pretty good green and red cards all the way up the curve. Some highlights of the Slacks match involving Secret Tunnel, when this sideboarded in Combustion Man met Toph the Blind Bandit in the Secret Tunnel to close out the match unblockable in a really fun way.
Yeah, and note the combo here of Boomy Unleashed and Flopsy Boomy's Buddy, which is certainly a flavor win and also pretty good in combination. Because as you see, if you look at Flopsy and the flavor text, Boomy likes to scratch his belly and say, "Oh, that's a good boy. Yes, who has a soft belly?" And the answer, of course, is Flopsy.
Flopsy does have a soft belly. It's true. Any other soft bellies in this deck, we think? Maybe the Borcupine. I guess the Borcupine has an anti-soft belly. Maybe the Badgermole Cub? I bet the Badgermole Cub.
Whoa. Isn't the whole point of porcupines and hedgehogs and other related creatures that they have spines, but also they have very soft bellies?
I guess that's a good point. So anyway, there was a question about a braid in the deck. It's in the lessons deck. The best way to deal with a Resolve Monument is Boomerang Basics. Bouncing it, just as good. Especially with all this counter magic in the board.
Yes, you got annul, spell pierce, negate. So usually the way that's going to go is a player will control one of talent on monument for a turn or two, but then the other person is trying to set up bouncing it and then stopping it coming back down in the same turn cycle. So you might board in a braid if you had it, but if you can't main deck that card, then actually it doesn't look as necessary in the sideboard. So we'll get ourselves down to this lessons memo. Please do let us know in the YouTube comments if you have a soft belly that you want people to be aware of.
All right, and here we go. We're underway. Wait, hold on. This is not actually what I want to be looking at, I don't think. Oh, I see what I did. There we go. Slightly zoomed in. I'm not really sure what I did to make that happen, but you know what? I'm not going to stress about it. We can see this. We can see the thing. Oh yeah, I've been a little sick the last week, and it's finals season. I'm notably teaching this semester and NRG Champs. I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks. I'm very sad about it, actually. So it's getting a little soft down there, you know? All right, more mulligans from Andrew here. Dom, did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, good.
Decide, obviously he's going to win on 7 cards. So, if this is like a chess handicap, if you spot them a pawn or something, Andrew trying to decide just how few cards do I need to actually demolish all competition in the lessons mode, and the answer is really not that many.
Yeah. Also, Andrew was so cocky coming into this that it'll be nice if MSJ takes him down. But also, man, watching
what do you make of,
Andrew down to 4. A 3-3-3 from Matt in the chat. Oh man.
Well, what do you make of MSJ's basic land choices there?
I can guarantee you unintentional.
Okay, I see.
He did not put any thought into it, I can guarantee. All right, and there was some discussion as to how good this Storm Chaser's talent card actually is in the mirror. We're going to have some lessons. If you're wanting to know more about the lessons deck, stay tuned to SystemMagic. We promise we'll have some lessons focused gaming on this channel in the next few streams. But by the end of the weekend, we were all big fans of Storm Chaser's talent.
Yeah, well, what do you make of MSJ's Boomerang Basics choice here?
MSJ's Boomerang Basics choice.
Just having the card in his deck, you know.
Oh.
A controversial choice among some competitors.
Really? Boomerang Basics is the best card in the deck. Oh man, we are really lagging a little bit here. Yeah, Gran got taught a lesson in firebending. A lot of multiversal passages. The life totals are getting low. And look, Andrew's disadvantaged here, but he does have Artist Talent, which is one of the most important cards in the mirror.
Yeah, Artist Talent, it is somewhat awkward because it's not putting you up on cards. It's only improving the quality of the cards in your hand. So if you just don't have many of those to begin with, then you often just won't have the spare thing that you can safely discard. So, Andrew, we'll use Boomerang Basics to clear out the auto token, stave off the offense there. But that's more where that came from. And Ral, off the top for MSJ, that is a big deal.
That is a big deal, absolutely.
One of the big findings from the group playing a lot of Lessons Mirrors and maybe a few other matchups was it's shockingly hard for this deck to actually remove a Ral permanently. You can bounce it with Boomerang Basics, of course, does cost 4, so you can get a nice tempo swing that way. But especially if the games are slowing down, you know, everything's trading back and forth, an uncontested Ral can put you very far ahead. And also, you know, the -3 mode combines nicely with your monumental endurance, so a very natural fit somewhere in the deck. And with it being so good in the mirrors, you know, Andrew was very keen to have at least the first main deck copy.
Yeah, and let me tell you, we're all lovers of Ral, but there is no bigger lover of Ral in this deck than Andrew Ellenbogen. All right, and we're not even...
Is that because of his crackling wit?
I think so, yes. Andrew Ellenbogen was like, man, you can never ever lose the mirror if Ral's in play. And then we played 2 straight mirrors where I resolved Ral on 4 and lost to Andrew. And then Matt made a lot of fun of him. And then, of course, Andrew was like, meh, I'm just too good. All right, it's our first first Ancestral Recall. Kind of a mopey Ancestral Recall, just a kill spell and some more lands that Matt doesn't need it, but this Artist Talent is going to let us filter those away.
Yeah, you get to a point in here where most of your deck actually is air, right? Because a lot of the removal doesn't really do anything, and a lot of the draw spells just kind of get more draw spells, and all you want to find are more Ancestrals, and then the Monuments, or the Ral in this case, to press that advantage and actually get the game over with. Absolutely. So Andrew forced to just spend his mana leveling Stormblaze's talent, and I guess getting the point in with the Otter for good measure.
Yeah, I mean, that Otter's not going to be blocking. All right, we got Ral. Interesting, Matt seemed to consider a second Artist Talent, which usually isn't this good, but with 4 lands stuck in hand, certainly a more appealing option. But instead, we're just going to use Ral to clear out those cards.
With the first talent leveled up, we could have a turn here of play second talent, play Ral, and then also have 1 left over for Combustion Technique to kill that Otter, which I guess we can still do all of that in some order. But Matt may be thinking that, okay, I don't really need the second Artist Talent, and if I end up drawing, you know, Ancestrals or Abandoned Attachments and so on, I do actually want to be able to chain those together first.
Yep, and here with that Boomerang Basics, Matt's Ral is definitely under threat, so make sure to take out that Otter. Those Otters can grow a lot to kill Rals. And man, one benefit of playing this deck on Magic Online is all these piles of triggers that can get so confusing when you play this deck in paper. There's like 14 Artist Talent triggers on the stack that need to be resolved as cards are being cast.
Yes. I mean, honestly, my main piece of advice for people playing this deck at RTQs and so on is actually practice your mechanics of just taking turns and taking game actions with this deck, because a lot of, you know, strategic stuff to think about, you know, what do I want to do on my turn? And then the actual logistics of doing all of that correctly and not missing triggers and stacking all of it and communicating that clearly, like that is a struggle in itself.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And man, Matt's one of the things about this deck is when you're going, your hand does not look bad for long. When Matt started his turn, his hand looked pretty terrible except for the Ral. But now we've got Grand, we've got a Storm Chaser's Talent, we've got another Ancestral Recall, Boomerang Basics to deal with whatever annoying thing Matt does. Oh, baby. Matt, already thinking about sideboarding, huh?
Yeah, definitely, as chat knows, reminiscent of Ruby Storm in Modern with all the stuff you have to keep track of. One thing that's not reminiscent is, Lessons is it's broken, and Ruby Storm is a born loser, many have called it, but
yes.
Certainly there is some spiritual similarity.
All right, we're bouncing the Storm Chaser's Talent, a way to get a little bit of value. Yeah. There was one Ruby Storm in NRG Champs, by the way.
There was. I mean, not for very long, but there still was a copy registered in the tournament. Yeah, I think the basics, Andrew would love to be bouncing either the Ral or one of the two artist talents, but I think a sign of desperation is having to bounce his own Storm Chaser's Talent and replay that instead.
Yeah.
And yeah, MSJ gets on tap with all of this stuff, and if the game doesn't literally end this turn, he's going to have a crushing advantage by the time it ends.
Absolutely. And life total is a really big factor in these matches. It's very hard to come back from a big life total deficit. And obviously, Matt's kind of winning here on every axis of gameplay, but don't underestimate how many life points he has.
Yeah, I mean, this is why they're calling him the best Lessons player in the Midwest. More and more people are saying this.
Master of the Lessons Mirror. All right, and I think Matt's biggest threat here might be accidentally decking, though it seems like he's looking to cast 7 spells and win with the Otter this turn. I think is Matt's plan. It's up to 4. Our spells cost 3. Or our spells cost 1 less. We can easily cast some spells, plus a free Soul Guide Lantern.
Yeah, notably, despite seeing, 35 cards or something so far, no copies of Monument have appeared yet. So the moment that changes, the game will end a lot more quickly.
That is certainly true. But here we go. Oh yeah, one of the hard things to keep track of, speaking of keeping track in paper, you ever taken a really long turn and then attacked with an Otter and had to be like, I think this is a 4/4. All right, 6 and Combustion Technique makes 7.
A nice clinical dismantling of Andrew in game on here. A beautiful game,
yeah,
I would say.
I want you to know, so as you all know, oh wow, look at that Monument of Endurance. Holy crap, that thing's ugly.
That's not the piss nuts. That's something else entirely.
Here, I'm gonna move over to Andrew. I think we're gonna watch Andrew starting with the sideboarding. So Soul Guide Lantern was a card we were back and forth on in the mirror. I know. Oh nope, we're gonna take him out. I think by the end we decided we didn't like them that much, but it's definitely a card we talked about in the mirror.
Yeah, you can definitely see why it would be good, right? Just reading the text on all the lessons, payouts, and so on. But you're also boarding in all of these reactive blue cards and the Ral, the abandoned attachments, and you kind of need to keep in some amount of the red removal for Grand, and for order tokens and so on. So at that point, you really don't have that much you can afford to take out, and so Soul Lantern ends up almost being like the last card left on the outside. I know there was a lot of debate over how many Grands you leave in. Is this a play versus draw thing? And if your opponent's leaving in a bunch of the removal, then it's tending to blank that or neuter it at least by shaving Grands. On the other hand, Grand, if they don't kill it, is pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And if the opponent's at the other extreme of shaving a ton of removal, then if you play turn 1 Grand, they might just be behind the 8 ball from turn 1 there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, another kind of awkward hand from Andrew, but we have abandoned attachments to make things a little better. Firebending Lesson in case there's an early threat. I think Andrew's probably considering keeping this one. Let's see what he ends up doing. Yeah, at the start of the weekend, we were considering boarding out all our creatures, including Storm Chaser's talent, to really strand their removal. And by the end of the weekend, we were up higher creatures. I will tell you, Andrew, when he only left one Grand. Here it is. I think if he had an island in his hand, or if he draws it, I guess he's on the play, you will see him hold the Grand. Andrew is a believer in wait for Grand until it is turned on in the mirror to play it and get a mana advantage.
Yeah, so if you think about, you get to turn 4, turn 5, if you play Grand and play a 2-drop for 1 mana, you've immediately got that same discount back.
Yep.
Kind of paid for itself. And then if you also can play a 1 mana abandoned attachment or 1 mana negate or something, or your Grand lives, you play a second 2-drop or something after that, that's a really good sequence. Whereas, just feeding the Grand into the more of the Firebending Lesson or something is not quite as appealing.
Yeah, and we kind of thought you could stop your opponent from deploying their lessons by playing no creatures, but with abandoned attachments and artist talent, it just kind of seemed like that wasn't a realistic strategy. And yeah, that's right. So our current update is Matt is up a game, won the Affinity mirror, and is up a game is up a match and up a game. So if Matt wins this game that we're watching right now, Matt is officially and unofficially the 2025 NRG champion. There was some drama.
Karma reasserting itself a little bit here. MSJ going to 5 in this game.
Okay.
No BMing in the chat from Andrew, who is locked in and would never resort to such tactics.
Absolutely. There was some drama. Last night about where should the trophy physically go once we got off the plane, because we were all on the same flight together, and I had it in my hand, and I was like, clearly I shouldn't take this. Maybe I should have.
You're the only sensible option.
Well,
Greg.
we let MSJ have it because it's officially his, and he's going out of town for a week tomorrow morning. So if Andrew takes it, he's gonna have to wait a little bit before he sees his trophy. Here we go. Mountain, abandoned attachments down. Still no blue source from Andrew. Boomerang basic storm.
Yeah, we have mono red versus mono blue here. James versus Chandra dual deck style.
Yep. But Andrew has some nice stuff going on. He has a window to resolve artist talent, which can sometimes be hard in the mirror. I know it's a card Andrew puts a high priority on, but he will have to take turns off, and sometimes in the mirror, hitting your land drops is the most important concept. So let's see what he chooses to do here.
Yeah, the talent a big pickup, because those 2 monuments, I mean, one reason that the team kind of cut the 4th copy and was less high on the card than most, I think, was that if you don't have artist talent, the card is pretty suspect a lot of the time, unless you also have abandoned attachments and some other outlets. So drawing the talent, a good way to make those live, or to discard them if you decide maybe you don't want the second copy, for example. But sticking the talent, I mean, he has a window to do it, but then we're still far away from even casting the monument or anything else. So yeah, I think this is the big question, that putting those thousands of hours with Phoenix to the test here of what's the best way to use your mana this turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we dug for the blue source and we found it. River Pyre Verge online. Andrew could bounce the outer. Matt really recovering from his mulligan, though, with all of these boomerang basics onto Storm Chaser's talents. Great way to get up cards. But Andrew's got the combo all lined up. Let's see if Matt's going to keep deploying or leave up some counter magic to fight back and stop Andrew from resolving these powerful threats. All right, Grand tap land. Green light for Andrew. He can play whatever he wants. But it's going to be...
Yeah, he can't play both is the problem, right? So given that, do you use more mana this turn and lead on Monument, or do you get down the much more essential Artist Talent now while you still can, and then hope that you're going to untap with 4 mana, you have the 5th land there, and at that point you can start getting stuff done.
Yeah, of course. And Artist Talent notably will trigger off the Monument, so there's even more pressure to play Artist Talent first. But we'll see what Andrew chooses to do. Yeah, Artist Talent. Get while the getting's good on this Artist Talent, says Andrew. On the battlefield.
But that means MSJ is going to get to Grand while the Granding's good.
That is...
We'll untap with Grand, and very close to that 3 lesson threshold.
Absolutely. And you got to imagine there's at least one red spell that's been stuck in Matt's hand with Andrew playing no creatures. Nope, Abandoned Attachment's down. All right, never mind.
And from looking at MSJ's screen here separately, I think we already knew he was pretty wise, but he's about to get even wiser.
Wow, all right.
Not Dan Wiser, you understand? Just
of course not wiser. Dan Wiser, yeah. God, so my brothers aren't that they play Magic, but they don't really follow competitive, but we're all big Avatar fans, and I got to send them the nice message of, quote, "You'll never believe which Avatar legendary creature is breaking standard."
It really is that the classic TCG meme of like you have some $80 mythic that's like 8 mana and it's Ozai, King of the Darkness or something, and it's completely unplayable, and then just a card that is like random raccoon is the format warping menace that everyone has to be scared of.
Okay, well, no, we did get to draw 6 cards, but we did not find interaction for this monument. Or maybe we did, and our mountain is getting us here.
Yeah. Interestingly, so MSJ had the choice on his turn, after attacking with Grand, he could have played the Wisdom main phase, and then, depending on that, he could have cast your 1 mana Artist Talent, which would mean, the next Wisdom gets a trigger there, and you have the talent down. Decides not to do that instead, but then as a result, plays a tap land, has a red source that he can't do much with, and is going to have a nice turn when he untaps again, assuming Grand doesn't die, but maybe some mana left on the table there if things have gone differently.
Absolutely, and we're going to see our first Artist Talent into Monument trigger here as Grand is taken down with the Firebending Lesson. And look, Andrew is down on cards 2-8, but sometimes that's not what this matchup is about. With Monument and Artist Talent, you get as many cards as you need. MSJ falling behind on board, and with life totals even, it's anyone's game. All right, Andrew deciding if he wants to keep his Monument of Endurance. Nope.
Yeah.
And rewarded finding a negate. Important card in the mirror. Drawing a card off the Monument. All right, 9 cards to Matt. Let's see what he can do with them.
So again, right, the way to break this up, you have to find the basics and then have the way to counter it on the way back down. We don't have that. So in lieu of that, the best you can do is to try and make good proactive plays on your own turn, which Matt has. There's talent, there's the other talent, there's Ral, there's a lot of other stuff, but none of that will amount to much if Andrew gets to untap and cast Ancestral Recall and keep on gaming.
Yep, there's the Ral. Not enough cards for Matt. Draw 3, discard 2, please. Man, shout out to Grayson, who triggered his Monument in his cleanup phase against me.
Beautiful. Which I know multiple judges have fielded questions at this point of, does going to your cleanup step reset the once per turn clauses on Monument so you get to choose the same mode again? Turns out no, because that would just let you draw your deck. So glad that they patched that one in advance.
Yeah.
But you get to do some fun stuff with it.
Yep. As Andrew said, impossible to win if Ralph sticks on the board. So Let's see how.
It's all Let's give MSJ the trophy right now. I mean, why dilly dally?
Oh baby, are we going to level 2? Oh
Okay,
no.
Andrew is getting
Clean
more
up.
and more artistic here.
Yeah. All right, Dom, you've been looking at MSJ's hand, but we haven't been. There is one Spell Pierce in the deck.
And there's one spell pierce in the hand. Yeah, so
all right.
I think this is a good moment for it. And yeah, in response to this treasure token being made, MSJ gets to fire off the spell pierce. So denying those cards, denying the possibility of more spells, more monument triggers on this turn.
Yikes.
And we'll get to untap as well. So clawing his way back into it.
Yeah, some fools didn't really want to play the Spell Pierce in the deck and got bullied by some Dom Harveys into playing it.
Yeah, I honestly, Dom Harveys have a good track record on these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hom Darbies, if you will.
Yep, and things were looking kind of close, but with that one of Spell Pierce being found, I think advantage bar definitely starting to lean towards Matt in this game.
Yeah, I think the next time you do this, you should have a physical advantage bar that you move the sliders on
Just
accordingly.
hold one up. I think we can do that for just any stream. It just says us, them, and I'll just kind of hang out with it. Well, Andrew thought it was his. Oh, and now Andrew's gonna fire off his negate. But it's hard to imagine that with 6 cards in hand, Matt doesn't have some nice stuff to to follow up. Oh yeah, it's
you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And yet.
Oh yeah, you're so. Should we want to go over your? I guess I'll stay.
Let's take a peek. Yeah,
we'll take a peek at MSJ's hand. Oh no! Well, okay, that's not. There's an Ancestor Recall in there.
Yeah, we could draw even more islands.
Well, actually, you can't draw 3 islands. There are only 7 in the deck.
Great point.
And remember what I said last match about sometimes you untap with a terrible looking hand, then some stuff happens, and suddenly your hand is amazing.
And that was not a bad pickup. So another Ancestral and a Negate, which could prove critical. Sadly, without his own Grand or talent, all of MSJ spells do in fact cost the amount of mana it says on the card. So we'll have to pay sacrifice for those.
And look, with Boomerang Basics, the dream of ulting a Ral is pretty hard, but 6 loyalty over there. 6 is a lot.
This is kind of interesting. So MSJ opts not to hold up that negate or the accumulate wisdom, opting to play the talent instead. I think just his view being, okay, if we're going to beat talent plus monument, even with the Ral, that's going to involve just getting ahead on board and then training enough spells together to actually really pressure Andrew's life total. Or you can try and set up, find a basics, bounce one of them, counter it on the way back down. But decides that this is a better way to kind of hedge his bets there than trying to like hard commit to, what one game plan or the other, or to leave up a negate, which at this point, what do you want to negate? I mean, I guess if it's ancestral, you would.
Maybe
if it's another monument, you probably have to.
A Ral, I think.
Yeah.
But Matt feels that he has the advantage, but maybe not that much, and he wants to press that advantage by starting to get some damage down. Andrew had some quote of something like, "There's no such thing as board advantage in this mirror, only life total advantage."
Yeah, I'm glad that Andrew is not tempting fate in any way, because that would be terrible if the gods were listening somehow.
Yeah.
Another artist talent. Okay.
Another artist talent. Chat wants to see a Ral ult. Let us know in the YouTube comments below if you want to see a Ral ult.
I think you're projecting onto chat here, Greg. None of them seem to be saying that.
I think chat wants a Ral ult. Wow. Okay, chat. Whatever. Nobody wants a Ral ult, apparently. Alright, well, there's the boomerang basics.
Chat does seem to be torn between wanting Andrew to lose the Lessons Mirror and wanting Andrew to have to play with his hideously broken draft deck and get trumped by the best limited player in the Midwest.
Yeah, God, it would be funny to watch Andrew lose to Matt in draft.
Which we could get to see both, thanks to them pledging to play all 3 formats no matter what.
Yeah. Andrew sounds so much better when he's invisible. Man.
Yeah, thank you, Miniature Catfish. I'm told I have a face for radio.
All right, Matt finally finds a boomerang basics, and hitting that level 2 artist talent has got to look really tempting.
Yeah, now Andrew is kind of faced with that same question of, well, if you're not going to negate this, then what are you going to negate in the end?
Interesting. Was that targeting the monument? I think that might have been a slight slip up from Matt. I think he maybe didn't see that big 2 on that artist talent to represent its
Well, so I kind of think this makes some sense actually, because
there's another artist talent. Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's another talent, but also if Andrew has to replay the monument, well, that's 2 mana, and the first set of talent triggers there won't benefit him. You know, he won't get the immediate payoff from that, so we'll have to play the monument again and then get some of the reward. And then if you do find a window to counter this on the way back down, then I mean, you don't want to be facing off against double talent, but much more palatable when you're not getting every mode of monument being done to you every turn on the house.
Yeah, good point. I think you might be right there, Dom. I think I got too excited for the mana advantage. I was thinking Andrew with 4 lands, try and take off his mana resource, but monument makes mana too, as we all know. Do you think Matt can cast 11 spells to grow this otter out of the range of combustion technique? Ah, darn.
Here's a window to stick Growl with that negate back up and the ancestral still.
Yep. And probably Andrew doesn't have a blue counterspell. He probably would have, if he had, used it to protect his monument. All right, life total advantage back to MSJ. We did look at the...
asked how much... Yeah,
so
how much do you consider the green splash? Did you play any of the green splash players in the tournament? You can speak to certainly the second part more than I can, but the first part, I seen the idea floated a lot, and we did test it briefly, but ultimately decided really worth a squeeze. And if you think the mirrors often do come down to stuff like RAL or whatever, which get around the green answers, then and you're already having trouble finding space for all the cards you want in the mirror, then why mangle your mana base just for that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I did actually. I played against Puffsun in the chat with the green deck, and it did look pretty good. I'll admit, but I don't think that's why I lost. I just kind of mulliganed a bunch and had some clunky draws, and the Origin of Metal Bending was good, but I don't think that's what happened. Oh yeah, play VV.
All right, so a fight as predicted over the monument being tried again. Matt gonna fire off his negate, and Andrew currently doesn't have a way to protect the monument.
All right.
So as far as I can tell, switch back to his view real fast.
Yeah, should we take a quick look, take a quick hand peek at Andrew's hand? Yeah, I mean, I guess he's considering accumulating some wisdom in response, it looks like. Or just playing, it looks like he has a second monument, his last monument. Andrew won one of his lessons mirrors against...
Yeah, if you have the... Yeah, I guess with this monument, you may as well just let the first one go and then, all hands on deck with the second one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if, not getting this pair of triggers is unfortunate. Sorry, you were saying?
Andrew, I know, won his lessons mirror against Nathaniel Perigo by running Nathaniel out of win conditions, getting all 3 monuments and both Rals into the bin with no Storm Chaser's talents, I think, in the deck, and or not enough to go over the finish line, and put Nate in a spot where he basically just couldn't win. Could spin his wheels forever, but that was not going to be enough. All right, and Boomerang Basics targeting an otter token here. I think Andrew's saying it's starting to get all about life points. I need to slow you down and stop you from killing me.
Yeah, so it's pretty unlikely that the 2 otter tokens could add up to lethal this turn. There's not enough mana, not enough spells. That's not happening. But let's say, MSJ makes a big attack, gets Andrew to 4 life or whatever, and makes another otter with Ral. Maybe in the course of all of his game actions, finds another Storm Chaser's talent or something, or uses the one on board to buy back a cannon spell. At that point, you're actually really under the gun, and you have to stabilize or win the game within a turn. And with only... I mean, this is the last monument in the deck. I don't think it's actually possible for Andrew to do that. Just the math of that life loss mode or monument. Just you can deal 3 on each turn in a turn cycle, but getting to 17 takes some time.
Yep. And Miniature Catfish, if you're just joining us, we are playing the unofficial champs final round of the NRG Champs event. Notably, Andrew conceded to Matt in the finals, so Matt could go to the Pro Tour, and the finals wasn't played. So we are playing it all here on stream for bragging rights and the physical trophy. MSJ went almost undefeated in the whole tournament, and is battling. Only needs one more win to officially claim the trophy. But Andrew's down, but not out. Well, a little late with this Soul Guide Lantern right after Andrew resolved his treasure cruise. Was MSJ undefeated? Yeah, I would say that. And definitely Andrew would say
that. Interestingly, Andrew has the one Broadside Barrage, which was a last-minute add to the sideboard as a hedge against the Planeswalker card type in general, Kaito mainly, but also Ral against other blue-red decks, and so on. And decided in the end, okay, if we think the mirror's about Ral, then you need something that answers Ral. It's not a clean answer, though, as we're seeing. Showing up when Ral is on 7 and counting, going to grow with every spell. And I think MSJ, given that both of these players are privy to this sideboard plan, knows that there's a big difference here between plussing and minusing Ral, and will go to great lengths, I think, to avoid Ral ever being truly vulnerable to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Although MSJ with some clunkers in hand. Wow.
Yeah, it does have the oddest talent to cycle through those.
God,
maybe,
quote 153 is, it doesn't get better than that for this particular stream.
Oh, that is nice.
Soul Guide Lantern is kind of like a pre-counter spell for the Treasure Cruise card, but it only counters that card. And it has some gameplay where you can play one of the Accumulate Wisdoms, and when they crack the Soul Guide Lantern, you can play another one. And the other thing about Accumulate Wisdom is Anticipate's not bad. What's the score? 16 to 17 is a great answer. So we do have Andrew. Excuse me. We have Andrew behind here, both in match total. Matt was able to claim the Affinity match, and Matt is up a game here in the Lessons Mirror. So if Matt wins this game, he will be crowned unofficially as well as officially NRG champion. MSJ is also...
And then we'll have the victory lap on his home turf in Limited, just to really put the nail in the coffin.
Yep. And we're reaching that point for Andrew where the size of his deck is starting to get relevant. We're down to, what is that, 11 cards in library for Andrew. He's got 14 points of damage to deal. That's, that might end up being an uphill battle.
Have we seen? So I know we saw both players doing the same sideboard plan, and Andrew has said like he thinks the Storm Chaser's talent stuff is good in the mirror now. Have we seen a Storm Chaser talent from him this game yet?
There's definitely I see at least 2 in his graveyard at the moment.
Okay.
But I assume he looted them away. There aren't really other ways to get them in the graveyard easily. All right, well, ugly monument down. And Grand's about to make all these spells much cheaper. Finally, MSJ with his own artist talent, although let's see if Andrew has an annul to stop that. With only, 11, 17 total cards and no annuls in the graveyards? It's probably more likely than not that he's got one.
And he's been looting away so many cards. If Andrew ever does not loot away get something given the option, you have to instantly start thinking, okay, what are the few relevant cards in this position?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And like annul definitely is one of the better ones here.
Yeah, I think MSJ
Andrew
just
also looking at the graveyard. I mean, Andrew has looted away or used, understandably, a lot of those red removal spells that he left in. So I think this Grand is poised to stick around for the long haul.
Ooh, that's
I guess Broadside
huge.
Barrage. If you need to kill something, then I guess I can do the job.
That's certainly true.
But
all right, and here we go. Here's Monument to Endurance. Now the annul comes down. Are there deck lists? Yeah, exclamation point deck will bring up our Mox field, and the 4 most recent deck lists on there are NRG Champs list. Oh yeah, that is a hilarious clock difference. Some of that is because they were stalling while we were getting set up on coverage. So I think Andrew started with like a 5-minute disadvantage, but... All right, and no loot from Andrew here. Maybe because his hand is great. Maybe because he's worried about the number of cards remaining in his library.
yeah, if the monument is your only win condition left, and your only way to trigger it is via, I guess, either Agnicala or Artist Talent, but both of those force you to draw a card, then there is actually a hard cap on how many more monument triggers you can get over the rest of this game. Well, I mean, Ral also can trigger monument, also has to draw cards in order to do that, though.
Yeah, same with Abandoned Attachments. And we don't think he has any left in his deck, but Grand. The only way
Did Andrew issue a ruling on what if both players control Ral?
No, yeah, this is what he needs to win. Well, here come the otters.
And this is a game where, the Soul Guide Lantern didn't get to fizzle Ancestral Recall, or Ancestral Recall if you like, but
Yeah.
I think being a hedge against level Storm Chaser's talent is very real here. Like, next turn if Andrew was able to pick up a negate or something, then that could be pivotal, but that will not be in play anymore.
Yeah, and let's see. I wonder, Matt can take his time and figure out like what cards does Andrew has left. He has at least one annulled. Does he have he hasn't used the spell pierce. It looks like both negates are gone. Matt's taking a moment to see. There are only 11 hidden cards from Matt's perspective.
Yeah, and this actually is a similarity with the Phoenix Mirror, where a lot of times, if the game goes long, both players see most of their decks. By the end, you can really map out, okay, these are the contents I know are left in each deck. These are the cards that are relevant, and you almost get this solved endgame style setup of, can I line up my answers against all of their relevant cards and just run them out of anything that's left. Those firebending lessons in Matt's hand finally finding some targets potentially, opening up. But without the otter tokens, there's no payoff there. Right? We're not going to get a big attack in this turn.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's see what Matt finds off this Ral minus.
So let's think about it this way, right? So Andrew has, 7 cards in his deck at this point?
Yep.
So he's going to take a draw step every turn, so that's -1. He needs 4 monument triggers to win just via that, and each of those requires a loot first. And the way the timing works out, the draw and discard happen at the same time. So if that would deck him, but the monument would kill MSJ, Andrew will deck first and go out in a blaze of glory.
That is true.
He actually needs the 4 triggers, and they need to happen before he draws 3 cards through other means. I guess he can go to exactly 0 cards, and this could be one of the games that ends with, hopefully not with a take back, but with 0 cards left in the deck.
Yep.
And all said and done.
And I think this firebending lesson, taking down this otter, is going to be big for Matt.
Yeah.
Because I think Andrew might be relying on this singular otter token to get that last point of damage down. And we're seeing Broadside Barrage. It's also going to save the Ral, right?
Yeah, because now Ral's back up to 6. So yeah, notably Andrew making a treasure with that monument trigger. So that's one that could not have turned into a 3 damage. And so the math is like the walls are closing in here.
Yeah, Broadside Barrage, of course, another way to draw a discard. All right, Matt down to 8.
And did Matt's talent get to 2 already, like 5 turns ago?
Isn't this a new artist?
This?
Isn't this a new artist talent?
Oh no, Storm Chaser's talent, I mean.
Oh no, the Storm Chaser's talent is still down. Oh yeah, he could pick up the Storm Chaser's talent. Ooh, a null is big.
I love the dichotomy in chat of Andrew appears to be cooked into Andrew has Xaxes, Andrew has this locked up.
Yeah.
All he needs is one spell. Someone about to be embarrassed in a very timely way.
Absolutely.
And there is a talent finally being leveled to pick up Boomerang Basics. which
But are we gonna see if
okay, it goes after Monument, sure. And yeah, so now, and yeah, MSJ has the annul on the way back down. So,
But if
unless
Andrew has
Andrew,
his spell pierce, which maybe you're I don't think Andrew has used his spell pierce yet.
was it MSJ that used the spell pierce?
I think
God knows how
so.
long ago now.
I think so.
Several years. Okay. So yeah, that's the card which if it's still in the deck and Andrew wants it, I mean he just has access to his deck. He can find it.
Yeah.
But if it's too far down, then it's too late to help him, right? Because
Absolutely,
you need
yeah.
a certain number of triggers again to lock that up. So and yeah, Andrew going to fire off his annul on another Stormblader's talent here from MSJ.
All right. Trigger,
and yeah,
trigger,
has to just decline these
trigger.
artist talent triggers.
Yeah, Andrew, no shot can he draw a card off these artist talents. All right, Andrew down to 4 cards in library. Whoa, Iroh's demonstration from Matt. Not one we normally see in, but I think he's trying to be cheeky and hit some honor tokens.
I think Iroh has made his point.
Yeah. Do you know why they call him the Dragon of the West?
Or the Grand Lotus or whatever he is. It's a very pompous title. You better earn that.
Yeah.
Okay. So talent being leveled, but that Saga Lantern has been there for God knows how many turns now.
Well, I think Andrew might only have one way to win the game, and it might involve talent level 3.
Okay. I mean, are there enough? Because remember, talent level 3 cares about instants and sorceries, not non-creature spells. So I don't know how many non-creature or how many instant sorceries we even have left in the deck at this stage.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
And
plussing Ral a few times, making a few otters, I think Andrew's starting to get desperate to find ways to close out this game.
If we're relying on a bunch of auto tokens, that Iris demonstration might actually
oh yeah, match
come through at the
all right, so
the 11th hour.
It looks like that has targeted a negate. It looks like Matt is going to crack his Soul Guide Lantern. So MSJ is a big fan of Coward Splits. Look at this. 1 Iroh's left in the deck. I bet that's the only Soul Guide Lantern he has. I bet he has like 3 Storm Chasers or something.
Oh, you mean Coward Splits in sideboarding, not just in
sideboarding. No, in sideboarding. And especially in a matchup like this where it's kind of all about leveling. Like, you want your kill spells if they keep their creatures, but if they don't keep their creatures, there's this kind of balance game. All right, here's the annul on the monument. Is this a trophy holding annul? Only 6 cards of resources left for Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, if MSJ truly had nothing, it might just about be doable, but I mean, MSJ has more than enough, I think, to get across the finish line here.
Just as I say, it's probably MSJ's only Soul Guide Lantern. He has to prove me wrong by ripping a Soul Guide Lantern off the top of his deck.
He's no coward, Greg.
There's no shot all 3 are in the deck, though. Come on.
What did we say about Tempting Fate?
Well, see, so Andrew could maybe ult the Ral. There's a bit of a problem with Ral ults. It does start with draw 3 cards.
Well, also, there's no direct damage burn spell in the deck that you could try and build up a big storm turn for.
Right.
I know some of the just more generic exit decks have the first burst lightning, which it's a 1-mana removal spell. You want a bunch of those anyway, but in part it's because you play against control, you play some very long drawn out mirror. That's actually a real factor that can come up.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt here, I think, is kind of thinking real hard. How could I possibly lose this one? Well, Spirit Water Revival, since Matt just exiled the graveyard, I'm not actually sure that would help.
I will say, this game has been a good exhibition of that theory that Ral is just really messed up in the mirror.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that MSJ has controlled this one Ral for what 7 or 8 turns at this stage, and it just looked phenomenal.
Absolutely, and it hasn't made that many otters really. It's kind of just been we've been casting enough spells to keep his loyalty up. It's been a nice draw 3, discard 2 every turn. MSJ hasn't had the artist talent going most of the game, but he's kind of had as much looting as he wanted off his Ral.
Okay, a lot of mana being tapped here.
Yep.
To level talent, okay. Rebuy some of that right away.
Well, this is, yep.
And those spells are so cheap now, Greg.
Those spells are quite cheap.
Oh, sorry, Andrew.
Oh, yeah. Andrew. I kept pointing to my jacket all weekend to say that I was Andrew, but I kept pointing to the wrong side. And being like, look, it's me, Andrew. Being like, NRG series? And it's like, oh, wait, no. Okay, Matt really trying to get him. Holding on to this Iris demonstration.
Gragran's final act of love might be just stepping in front of the final, would-be lethal auto attack.
Yeah. All right, Matt, I think, has decided to not try and get him and take down this single otter. So, NRG, it was a bit of a bit. NRG had some issues with their jackets, where they not all the jackets arrived on time. Some things were back ordered, and so me and Matt knew we wouldn't be getting our jackets in time. And this is Andrew's 3rd NRG champ, so he got his 3rd jacket. So we brought all 3 so that we could wear them all to the event. It was planned.
When I was commentating the events, they said they would send me a jacket, and it just never arrived.
Wow.
So I had to qualify for NRG Champs and go there to obtain my jacket, finally. And then this year, when Charlie Dusselberg in the chat kept getting confused with me at events, despite being 18 years old to my spry 33 now, happy birthday to me, we were going to set it up so that I would hand over my jacket and he would go as me for Halloween.
Wow.
But sadly never came together.
A great bit. All right, Storm Chaser's talent getting countered with this annul that's been sitting in Matt's hand. Andrew putting up a good fight, okay? Not many resources, but he's trying to make some otter tokens. He's got a Storm Chaser's talent leveled up. He's got some Ral pluses. There are only a couple more turns. Can he get those last few points of damage through before he decks? Matt's running out of resources too. Only 10 cards left in deck for Matt.
Yeah, Andrew is full of warrior spirit, but there's a lot to worry about right now.
Absolutely. Are we gonna see Matt dueling Storm Chaser's talents on 6 or on level 3? Yeah.
Chat loves a fully level Storm Chaser's talent, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak on their behalf, but
I loved. That's why we're here, is to speak on their behalf. Okay.
I will note, just for anyone keeping track at home, that if Andrew had registered 61 or more cards, I'd say he'd be in much less danger of decking right now.
Ugh. And Matt back in the man, this game is really ground to a halt as both players are trying to figure out, is it possible? Can Andrew somehow pull out the win here?
I think that negate is gonna officially lock it up.
Yep.
Oh, and another if we want it. But maybe at this point, just boomerang basics or something for an otter. But
or kill the otter, or just bounce that Ral back, or the fully leveled Storm Chasers. Oh, or your own Storm Chasers. Live in the Pixie Dream.
Yeah, I guess at this point, right, but making another blocker is kind of all the same.
Yeah. And
also resets your talents, just threaten this again next turn. So you actually just make an infinite blocker.
Can we get an MSJ card in deck count? We're down to 5. Be careful, Matt.
How many do you need? Maybe this is why Andrew Mulligan to 4 in the first game. He knew this could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Wanted to pad his deck size a little.
All right. An army of otters for Matt. Andrew down to 2 cards in deck. Makes an otter. Well, with only this card doesn't kill him. Yeah, common accumulate wisdom worth it. Man, if it was actually ancestral and could target opponents, this mirror would be really funny. Well, can you choose?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Can you choose none off your anticipate?
That's a secret third thing. Yeah. It's very common in real life that you accumulate so much wisdom that your brain just explodes and you deck yourself.
Yeah, I want to be clear. If I was Andrew here, I would go out by ulting my Ral.
It's like in the TV show where Aang took too much ayahuasca and just was never the same.
Yeah. Underrated episode, actually.
It was a pretty epic bender of some kind, yeah.
All right, more Rals. Oops, all Rals. No, it clearly says Andrew Allen Moden. See, I just pointed to the wrong side again.
Yeah, I actually pointed to the wrong side of the advantage bar just now, but no one saw it.
Wow, so not ulting the Ral to go out on his own terms. Still fighting the good fight.
Does chat mean nothing to you, Andrew? Come on.
Chat is dying for a Ral ult. Let's see, could Matt do it if he could cast a spell without drawing a card?
I guess like if you had enough otters in advance, and then if the game was just a wall of otters on each side,
yeah,
you ult Ral and then boomerang basics to just bounce all of the otters or something and get a big attack in, but there's just too few cards to let that happen.
Absolutely. Do you think Matt's gonna negate this boomerang basics here, or just say, whatever, you can have it?
Maybe Matt will scoop this game just to let us play game 3.
Wow, just because he wants to show Andrew that no matter how good Andrew's draft deck is, it doesn't matter. What is the match stakes? We're playing for the physical trophy. Matt is defending his physical trophy that was given to him. Matt is the NRG champ. Andrew conceded him so Matt could get the PT invite. But it was deemed that the winner of the unofficial match will take home the physical trophy. Yeah, I'm sorry I let you down in your fantasy NRG Champs drafts. If I had known there were so many of those going on, that would have been good motivation for me for the tournament. Oh wait, are we gonna rebuy Iroh demonstration?
Oh, Iroh has something to say.
I think Iroh has something to say. Matt, chat wants you to rebuy Iroh's demonstration.
That would be a nice exclamation point on this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a serious case that for games like this, where your both players see so many cards, you have so many options at various points, having these kind of polarized effects in your deck where, yeah, it won't come up that often, you get to sweep away a bunch of others, but just having that option in your deck, if you're seeing most of your deck, like that can actually shape how a lot of these games play out. It comes up more with these more narrow cards, but we're going to get to see it. And you do in fact love to see it.
I love to see it. Oh, and we're going to even level the artist talent first.
Oh, just deal more damage. I see. Very smart.
I think Matt realized that the card Spell Pierce exists and still hasn't been seen.
No, it doesn't. It's okay.
So... And there it is! Congratulations to your unofficial and official NRG champs, Matt Sikkink Johnson.
Encore.
Alright, let's check the chat. Alright, we are firing off the limited match. It is happening, so congrats. Congrats to Matt. Wow, Dom saying in the chat demands it after saying he would not speak for chat. Let me pull up those limited deck lists one more time for you so we can take a look at what we got going on. Let me get everything set up here. Here we are. So this was our standard match. Let's get those limited decks up and ready to go on our SystemMagic Mox Field, which you can find with the exclamation point deck. Let's start with Andrew's deck. He has not yet played a single match with this deck. No one wanted to let him play it in the finals. He had the lower seed, so his opponents got the choice of matchup, and none of them wanted to face this monstrosity. With many Flame Tongue Kavus in the 5-drop slots, almost all the cards make multiple bodies: 2 Freedom Fighters, 2 Caves, Kiyoshi, Invasion Reinforcements, and tons of go-wide payoffs here with Team Avatar and 2 How to Start a Riot. Exactly what you want a red-white deck to look like in this format. On the other side, Matt has played his deck multiple times, is 2-0 with his deck, as many of his opponents made the poor choice of letting Matt play limited and paid the price with this, fine green-red deck. Certainly nothing too busted. I think most would agree it's not quite as good as Andrew's deck, but there's some good ones in here. Between Boomy and Bitterwork and the Badgermole Cub and Secret Tunnel, there's a lot to like in this deck.
Which of you is the Boomy and which is the Flopsy, would you say?
Between me and Andrew?
Sure.
I guess... I was gonna say I'm the Flopsy, but... I don't know. I think pretty clearly Andrew is the Boomy and I'm the Flopsy.
Who's the Boulder, then?
Who's the Boulder? I guess that's MSJ. I think actually Alan Wu is the Boulder.
Wow. Who's the Beautiful?
That's you.
Is it me?
Yeah, that's definitely you.
Wow. It's a shame that the viewers at home can't see me.
Yeah. I think, how is Andrew going to deal with it? Andrew was so confident. Andrew's always really confident. But, okay, wait, so, hold on. I gotta do this. Oh, wrong thing. This. Okay, here we go. Into the finals. Now we're just... this is the unofficial NRG Champs finale. Matt, nothing too exciting, but a totally fine hand here. But let's switch over to Andrew's perspective, shall we? Uh-oh. There's a long discussion on who was supposed to be on the play. So if this game had happened, Matt would have gotten to be on the play. I think Matt is saying that since Andrew lost the last round, he gets to be on the play. This is for pride anyway. All right, so it looks like Andrew's just gonna be on the play. MSJ chose the draw. And not too many exciting cards here, but a totally reasonable start from Matt. This is an open deck list tournament, so people did get to see each other's deck lists, even in the NRG Champs. MSJ can afford the handicap, yep. Nice little 1-2 start from Andrew here to start out the game. Matt with his raucous audience, able to accelerate his mana. Let's see if Iroh has something to say about that, though. Maybe not. Maybe Andrew's just gonna say... Matt has some scary cards for Iroh to say something about it. Andrew's removal's a little light, so... Whoa.
All right, I'm back. Greg, as an Avatar limited specialist,
yes.
Which mode of Iroh's demonstration would you use to kill this Raucous audience?
Definitely one to each creature. There's probably
nice.
like mutagenic growth on the bonus sheet to punish you, but...
Or maybe we don't kill it at all. Okay.
All right. Team Avatar down. Is this Deserters going to turn into a 4/4 and attack? Boom. I think everyone in chat is rooting for the MSJ sweep. If I may talk for chat again.
I think you can safely do so in this instance.
Yeah, look, MSJ lost very few matches of Magic this weekend. No one should bet against MSJ. You're rooting for a Ral Ultimate. Ral Crackling Wood is probably on the bonus sheet. Alright, well, Matt has 6 mana here if he wants it. Could we see a turn 4 Flopsy? Oh, a Boomy Unleashed? No.
Wow, I love Boomy Unleashed.
Is the Avatar Ral also... Yeah, it's an Otter Penguin. Flopsy, Boomy's Bunny, attack... Is that... No, for 5. Boom!
Can we get some SystemMagic Otter Penguin tokens now? Now that the monks have really,
Yeah, I want you to know throughout the tournament, we all used the double-sided Otter monks, and it was just agreed in the room that the monk side meant treasure. And, not really playing around this, Oh, does MSJ get a token for champs? Wait, if I knew one could get a token, I would have tried so much harder. Also, we finally got our hero tokens, everyone! If you've been waiting to get a SystemMagic hero token, because we promised you one, it's finally coming. Your long 4-month wait is over.
Yeah, chat. If you're qualified for PT Lauren, and hopefully many of you are, then be sure to go up to Andrew and ask for a hero token there, and also for an IRL pack.
Nice. Well, I didn't know that Champs got you another token.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what token Theo got for winning last year.
Well, I don't know. Theo's won so many NRGs. I assume they just have, like, every single token of him that you could imagine. Well, Derek Davis was just an otter. Theo has 3 tokens, the second most. Do you have the most, Grayson?
Have I told the story yet of how playing for top 8
Nice.
at the NRG that was Vivi standard got a game loss because the judge deck checked me and determined that the basic lands in my sideboard that were like different lands, unsleeved, kept with the tokens rather than anything else, like very clearly not part of my sideboard, and thus, there was no choice. They had to give me a game loss, which, okay, maybe they did, but I could have played around this by using the Dom Harvey token that tracks your mana that I got for winning the NRG.
Wow.
Only a few months before.
That's really adding insult to injury, Dom.
Yeah, it's... I had no moves, I guess. Be sure, chat, to use your Dom Harvey mana token to avoid any such catastrophes befalling you in the future.
Nice. Alright, so a 2-for-1 to deal with this 5-5, and we're following it up with Rebellious Captives, Earth Kingdom Soldier. Matt going really wide here to try and probably has like Legend of Yang Chen on the mind.
Gotta say, currently, like MSJ's odds of the cleanest of all sweeps.
Well, yeah, MSJ is things are looking good for the best limited player in the state of in the Midwest.
Does MSJ get a SystemMagic token if he wins this showdown?
Well, notably, MSJ is on the SystemMagic token. Yeah, MSJ let Andrew go first and is still winning. Yeah, okay, so notably, I played Andrew for the finals of our pod, and what happened to Andrew here is what happened to me. Like, I kind of just drew, like, the 7 worst cards in my deck every game. I think my deck was quite good, but I just, like, every limited deck has some stinkers, and, I went heavy on the stinkers. But I don't know. It's not over yet, everyone. Let's not count out Pro Tour champion Andrew Ellenbogen quite yet.
Pro Tour Lorwyn champion? Or was there some other Pro Tour?
I think a different one.
Okay.
All right, down to 2 goes Andrew. Let's see if Matt has a follow-up on 6 mana. Nope, pass the turn. All right, it's a repulse. Clear out this Flopsy for a turn. Nope, get rid of the token. Get rid of the counters on the Raucous Audience. All right, so Matt has the Secret Tunnel, but Andrew has the Cave of Two Lovers. So let's see. I think I remember Matt having a removal spell in his opening hand. Is that we saw Matt's opening hand.
Iro has something to say, Greg.
Iro has something to say. Have you told him why he's the Dragon of the West?
Oh, he knows.
All right, so I want to take a look at Matt's sideboarding. So notably, there was this very contentious Combustion Man that everybody told Matt to bring in, and he did bring it in every match. And let's see if he brings it in here. Note the Mongoose Lizard to kill some X1s. No Mongoose Lizard.
Oh, I've decided I want the Mongoose Lizard. I'm going to die on this hill. I demand the Mongoose Lizard come in.
It does seem kind of good for Matt. Matt notably started this draft with Epic Downfall into Momo Playful Pet, then took Accumulate Wisdom, then took a red card and a green card. He started his draft with the perfect Wooburg, and then ended up in red-green.
Was he trying to complete his daily quest or something?
Yeah, I think that must be it. He was he knew that an avatar Aang was going to be opened, but it was the wrong one. He chose. You can see it in the chat. He did choose choose 4 damage to target creature.
So as you were on site while the draft was being conducted here, what was the thought going in? Because there's an interesting contrast of most of the people at NRG Champs qualify by constructed, right?
Yes.
And whether by winning an event or by just playing a lot of constructed at the showdowns and so on over the course of the year, very few people actually qualify by a limited. And in this case, it was Slacks and the 3 of you, I believe. The others aren't good at limited or don't draft, but in their own time. But like you don't, in order to get here. So when you get to the top 8 draft, you have Andrew, MSJ, and Slacks, which by itself that would be enough for like a tough
PT pod, yeah.
And then also you have people who I don't know how much limited they play, but certainly not as much as the 3 of them. So you have this quite stark contrast. Did
I
that
think
kind of make
a lot of
itself felt in
people
the draft?
were not planning on playing limited. Notably, people get choices over what formats they play in the later rounds. All right, so Matt is slow rolling his Iros demonstration here, trying to. There are a lot of X1s in Andrew's deck. I think he's hoping to get more than a 1-for-1 with this invasion reinforcements. And he's going to get rewarded here. Another 1/1 hits the battlefield. Though the Boulder Ready to Rumble is a pretty tempting play if we're Matt.
And Matt is in fact the newest recruit to the Boulder.
Yep. That is true.
He'll be ready to rumble soon.
The answer to that question is no. We do not play on Spell Table. The Boulder is going to win this fight in a landslide. Absolutely. All right, well, things going much better for Andrew in this game. A clean 2-3-4 to start out the game. Matt with a totally fine and reasonable curve here, but nothing exciting. And we can see his hand is kind of filled with some stinkers. All right, and there's the Legend of Yang Chen, Andrew's first pick. Comes down, takes out the Boulder, and whoa, advantage bar for Andrew here.
So what does Yang Chen do in the lore?
She's the
Who is he? What's his deal?
She's the avatar 3 before Aang. She does not really have much screen time. She shows up in only one scene of the story. In literal the last episode of the show. Because Aang, can consult his past lives for wisdom, and he's not getting the wisdom he wants from his past lives. And so, but he's like, I should consult another airbender, see if they give me the wisdom I want. And then Yang Chen shows up, and it's just like, nope, sorry.
Okay, chat definitely wanted both players to draw 3 cards there.
Oh, yeah.
If I know anything about chat.
Oh, yes.
Andrew just thumbing his nose at his devoted fans.
No, Andrew cares so much about this game. I guarantee you, Andrew's fighting for his life here.
This is what happens to celebrities in the end when they get too big. They forgot who gave them their success in the first place.
Absolutely. Yeah, also, we made fun of Matt a lot, because notably in the thing we won for all of us to queue for champs, Matt did not win a match in the top 4. Both Andrew and I won all our matches, and Matt just kind of lost a bunch. And then despite that, he won champs, won the title, and got to keep his trophy. Okay, this is an okay follow-up from Matt. He's going to get to sweep Andrew's board with Iroh's demonstration with Suki Kiyoshi Warrior as the follow-up. If Matt's going to come back into the game, this is how it starts.
Yeah, he kind of needs Andrew to not have anything, and Andrew does already have something, but yeah, there's a glimmer of hope, even if it's about to be extinguished.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, notably, I am MSJ's number 2 hype man. A distant second to MSJ's number 1 hype man Andrew. No one was happier to see Andrew win this tournament. So see Matt win this tournament than Andrew. I guarantee it. And look,
Where on the list of MSJ hype men is MSJ?
Really far down. Like, okay, chat, you might be sitting there thinking, like, that was a rough choice for Andrew to concede to his friend in the finals. Andrew didn't hesitate for a second. He really, really wanted it. Really wanted, it being Matt to win. He just, like, all night, he was like, I feel so great about how that tournament went. And, alright, well, this one's going to Andrew. Who's MSJ's third hype man? It might be, like, his wife.
It's not B-Wells?
B-Wells has got to be in top 10 for sure. It might be a friend of the stream, Sam Eilenfeld. Sam Eilenfeld is a
great friend of the stream.
Yeah. And former Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, it's important people don't forget that part.
Yep. All right, let's go look. Let's watch the last match from Andrew's perspective. I think it's time we go back to Team Andrew. Ooh, Jets brainwashing coming in. There was much discussion over what's better in this deck, Yip Yip or Enter the Avatar State. Also, oh wait, did he bring in the Zuko? No, Zuko's up here. Andrew loves Zuko Exiled Prince, and Matt hates it. And so Andrew left Zuko out just for Matt.
Now, this seems like the kind of matchup where the cheap white combat tricks, like either Yip Yip or Avatar State, would actually be at their best. So what do you make of Andrew leaving those all on the bench? Is it just that his overall deck quality is so high that he doesn't actually need a lot of these like conditional or marginal tricks?
I think so, and I think with Matt doesn't have that many removal spells. He has what, like 3 or 4, maybe 3 in his whole deck. I think that caused the Enter the Avatar State to stay at home, and I think I agree with that choice. I certainly think the Yip Yip could make it in. It's probably pretty close to this Jets brainwashing, which I think either one would be put on the bottom of the library here. But
yeah. So 6 cards versus 5, it looks like.
Whoa.
This decisive game 3.
Yeah, and look, Andrew doesn't have the most impressive hand, but he's got a nice little early curve here.
Yeah, and a lower curve in general, which if both players are on low resources, definitely favors the sleek, smooth Cadillac over the clunky Grawl deck.
So at the end of the weekend, both MSJ and Matt only lost a single Is It Lessons mirror. So I guess maybe Andrew can still claim champion of the Is It Lessons mirror. Ooh, thinking about it.
No, I don't think so.
No, you think it's King of the Hill style? So Matt now has the Is It Lessons mirror crown.
Yeah, but whether he wants it or not.
I mean, he's not gonna play another Is It Lessons mirror for a long time. So I mean, maybe at the PT, who knows? But obviously, there's a new set, and people are gonna figure out how to attack the Is It Lessons deck. It's also not. Matt does not like the Is It Lessons deck.
It's not a deck of his type.
Definitely not a deck of his type. Next stream, I think... Hey, look, Andrew and I haven't actually talked about it. I don't know for sure, but I am pretty confident that our next stream will be an Is It Lessons stream.
Nice. Okay, so... A lot of X1s flooding the board here,
A
Greg.
lot of X1s. Anyone know why they call him the Dragon of the West, or... It'll be an Is It Lessons lesson. Yeah, that's certainly right.
it would be an innocent moron, I think.
Yeah. All right, Iroh's demonstration. There it is. Ooh, a good draw from Andrew, though. Sokka, lateral strategist. One of the better uncommons in the set, I think. But the boulder... No, Andrew with a great follow-up with Iroh's demonstration of his own. Kill the boulder, attack for 4, draw a card. Things are spiraling a bit out of control here. I don't know, though. There's a nice 5/4 in Matt's deck that, no, it doesn't seem to have it. There's Suki. Suki can't be answered by this jet, although... How to Start a Riot looking pretty good here. Ooh,
yeah, I think at this point, Andrew would happily take the... It's not even a 2-for-1 necessarily, but...
Yeah, let this attack
he
happen.
can attack without fear.
Yeah, he can just let his thing get eaten and then use Jet to finish off the Suki. Or he can menace up and put Matt down to 3.
Yeah, and if this was on paper, of course, the Jet could just finish off MSJ directly, but...
Yeah, of course, of course. All right, down to 3. Things are looking dicey for our NRG champion here in this for fun match. Oh, and insult to injury. There's the Legend of Yang Chen off the top. Cast it. Exile Earth Rumble card. Let's see, an interesting choice for Matt here. See if he decides to trade his treetop creature to put his opponent to 1 and draw a card. Or just chooses to sit on Andrew's advantage here. And we're going to make that trade.
Andrew, this is your last chance. Chat will not be happy.
Look, 1 life point is all you need. All right, there's the Badger Mole Cub that Matt had to buy to play this online event.
I hope he gets his 20 tickets worth.
No, I mean, look, everyone. Andrew's draft deck. Andrew was right that his draft deck is incredibly strong.
Draw 3. Draw 3.
We all want to see you draw 3. Yes!
Yes!
Common Andrew W, indeed. All right, now flyer. Oh, Airbend, the Legend of Yang Chen. Woohoo! That's a spicy one. Sokka getting in there, forcing the chump from this 1/1 Earthbend land. Comes back to the battlefield, but Matt really running out of options here. He did well to 2-0 with this nice draft deck and to both officially and unofficially take home the NRG Champs trophy. But it seems like Andrew will maintain his pride and take home the limited match. And that, my friends, is the end of our unofficial NRG Champs. I want to give one more huge shout out to the NRG series for this amazing tournament that they run. Yeah, I think we will try and get some friends in the call.
All right, fine.
Yeah, do you want me to make any kind of loud screeching just to drown out MSJ?
Yeah, well, please begin the loud screeching
I'm
immediately.
pretty annoyed.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew. Wow, and Matt's just dunking on you in this call. Wow, he's just saying so many rude things.
Yeah, I can only assume that
Yeah,
he is.
it's savage.
Yeah, good thing no one could hear them due to the loud screeching.
I haven't got Matt. Have you gone to listen to your interview?
I haven't. I've
It's
only
like unhearable.
heard that it was.
Wow, I'm seeing double. 2 Andrews.
Oh yeah. Wow, you weren't wearing your Andrew jacket?
It's upstairs.
There's at
sorry.
least 3 of us.
I didn't realize that was. I wasn't really sure if I was actually going to come down and be on camera, but then I was like, yeah.
Yeah, might as well. We're wrapping up, you know. Oh yeah, I had to mess up a lot of stuff to get this to work. So
That's fine.
I'll have
Everything's
to.
designed.
Yeah, we'll reserve. Don't let me forget next stream that we've got to fix all the biz. I gotta come a little early tomorrow to fix all the biz.
So much biz.
Yeah. So Matt, congratulations on your win. Any thoughts? Final words? Victory laps you'd like to take?
Really glad I don't have to give up the trophy and I could legitimize my win a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate
really glad
to hear the interview. That's a digital penalty for me, you know?
I mean, you could go get headphones so you can hear the.
No. I prefer it this way.
Okay.
Shout out to Andrew for Moden 4. Too bad he didn't keep going. Like I was chanting 3 at home, but
Oh, we saw the chance of 3 in the chat. Don't worry.
nice.
Those made it onto the stream.
I assume everyone else was chanting along with me since
Oh, definitely.
rooting against the heel.
Yeah, we were drowned out by the buzzing though. Yeah, MSJ, you had some friends in the chat.
Nice.
Should I pull up some elevator music to blast? That would be a really funny bit.
Would it though?
Yeah. So Andrew, would you say your draft deck lived up to the hype?
I think it lived up to the hype.
I think so too.
I mean, yeah, it was the only thing capable of taking a match off the great MSJ.
That's true.
Was in fact, taking him to his home turf and defeating him where he comes from.
Yeah, classic limited expert taking down constructed expert in the 2 constructed matches.
That is what happened, yeah. I don't really know when I became a
how does it feel to be the greatest lessons player in the Midwest?
Oh yeah,
Feels pretty good, yeah.
We've decided on King of the Hill rules, so now Matt is the champ of the Is It Lessons.
Nice.
Wow, that's going to be really bad for next stream.
Well, yeah, and because Matt's not going to play the matchup for a long time, so he's going to hold that trophy for a while.
Do you think if I top in Atlanta with these lessons, I can reclaim the crown?
Only chat can decide that.
No, I don't think so.
I just wanted to bring that up.
Also, 1 demerits for not going out by -10ing your RAL to draw 3 cards.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, the chat really wanted to see more Storm, and I don't mean Ruby Storm.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we're going to wrap up our stream here. I'm going to find some place to rate us all. One more. Thank you so much, Andrew and Matt, for participating in this event. This was a ton of fun. Thank you so much, Dom, for coming on and joining me in coverage. Had a blast doing coverage with you. And one more thank you again to NRG, the NRG series. If you are a competitive Magic player and you are looking for some competitive Magic in your life, absolutely check out the NRG series. They have some online tournaments coming up next year. So if you're anywhere in North America, you can play those, or you can travel to an NRG weekend and you can try to qualify for NRG Champs and take down the great MSJ, who will be there as our first player qualified for Champs next year.
I just like to state that I won't try at all, but I will probably be there.
Nice. Hey Dom, anywhere if people are fans don't know where to find you, anywhere where they can find your content?
I'm online in various places, including the SystemMagic Discord. So I don't know. You can find me there, I suppose.
Nice.
I also usually you can find me every Monday, Tuesday, and Monday. What was the stream schedule again?
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday these days.
Yeah, you can find me Thursdays in the SystemMagic Twitch chat.
That question we get a lot, unironically.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Anything to close us out?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Well, congrats again. Congrats again to Andrew on breaking your top 4 curse.
Sure did break that.
You'll win him next time, I think. All right, we're gonna send you to Carlo MTG, who's playing some Avatar Standard. Looks like they're playing some Jeskai Control. So you can see how that, if that can take down the Lessons Menace. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back with some more lessons tomorrow. We'll see you then, and SystemMagic out.